Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שברחים גם יחד. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שברחים גם יחד. שלום עליכם, סלאם עליכום. שלום עליכם, סלאם עליכום. שלום עליכם, סלאם עליכום. שלום עליכם, סלאם עליכום. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this stage. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב
Shabbat Shalom. We begin with a song of welcome, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Yom. Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Yom. Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Yom. Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem L'Shalom. Seidchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Yom. Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. Welcome to all of you who are here in our sanctuary on this beautiful spring Shabbat evening. And welcome to all of you who've joined us via the live stream from wherever you may be, at home, in the office, on the road, somewhere. We're glad to have you with us in person or digitally. This is Rabbi Ilan Demetov-Bressler and Cantor Julia Kadrain, and I'm Rabbi Michael Friedman, and we're joined by Mike Lantowski and by Yusuf and by Sean and Eric and Stephanie and Lester and Will and our entire staff here, our team here at Temple Israel. We welcome you and wish you Shabbat Shalom. For me, it's, almost a shalom of a different sort. I'm about to begin on Sunday a period of sabbatical. Thank you all. And in the past few days, I've been honored to officiate a funeral and our ECC graduation, and tomorrow a baby naming and double bat mitzvah. So if anyone here would like to get married, I'll have hit for the rabbinic cycle, all within 3 days. Anybody up for it? No? Well, all right, so I'll have to be content with this really rich and robust period of Jewish celebration and mourning within our midst, in our community. I know that there are many of us here this evening who came with family and friends, but we also know that there are many of us who don't necessarily know those who are sitting in front or behind of us, or perhaps even right next to us. So we invite you to extend a hand and introduce yourself and greet your neighbors and wish them Shabbat Shalom. Such a nice buzz here in our sanctuary as everyone was greeting one another and saying hello. And now we want to invite our 3 Benot Mitzvah for tomorrow, Ruby and Serena and Anna, forward for the lighting of our Shabbat candles. Ladies, please come forward. Page 120 in your prayer books.
Let's turn together to page 130. This is our time of, we call Kabbalat Shabbat, which means welcoming Shabbat. And the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat have all these words that talk about basically making a joyful noise. Lechu neranena, shiru. What that boils down to is make some sound. So whatever you think about your voice, whether you know the tunes or you know the Hebrew or you don't, let's just make some sound together. It's one of the ways that we shake loose the stress and the strain of the week and start to welcome in the peace of Shabbat. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Yay, la, 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 yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 yay, la, la. Yay, la, 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 yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 la. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, l'Adonai. Yaria letzur yishenu, nekadma panav betorah, tizmirot nari'ano, tizmirot nari'ano. Yay, la, la, yay, la, 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 yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 yay, la, la. Yay, la, 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 yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 la. Let us sing unto God. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God, sing unto God a new song. Yay, la, la, yay, la, 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 yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 yay, la, la. Yay, la, 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 yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 la. Yay, la, 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 la. Let's turn together to page 131. We're welcoming our summer intern, Felix Mann, to join us for this prayer. You can find the Hebrew 4 lines up from the bottom. This is a melody that we introduced new last week. So if you were here last week, it's an old friend. And if this is your first time hearing it, you will know it well in about 30 seconds. יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 אז ירדנו כל עצי אז ירדנו כל עצי אז ירדנו כל עצי אז ירדנו כל עצי יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 אז ירדנו כל עצי אז ירדנו כל עצי אז ירדנו כל עצי אז ירדנו כל עצי יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 איי
Pages 138 and 139, the ancient poem, Lecha Dodi, that welcomes our Shabbat beloved into this space. Some of us are wishing for a little peace. Some of us are wishing for a little motivation. Some of us may be wishing for calmness. Some of us may be wishing for focus. Some of us may be wishing for health. Whatever it is that you need, whatever it is that that is missing from your life, may our Shabbat beloved bring it to us on this evening.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kara, ונשמה נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kara, ונשמה נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתחילה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kara, ונשמה נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kara, ונשמה נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכו, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה ומצ'מה תחילה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kara, ונשמה נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kara, ונשמה נקבלה. ואורך ומאורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בשבת לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בשבת לקבלה.
Rise and face the entrance to our sanctuary.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעולם, גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בשבת לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בשבת לקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בשבת
We remain standing and turn to page 146 for Baruch, our formal call to prayer.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Please be seated. The past few days, the transition from day to evening felt eerie and came on way before the sun was meant to go down due to the wildfire smoke from Canada. The sky was dark and even dystopian looking, making it hard to tell exactly what time it even was. Ma'ariv Aravim, one of our prayers between Baruch and Shema, celebrates the transition from day to night, something that we can indeed lift up again tonight as our sky is clear and we breathe more easily. Each time we pray these words, honoring the movement of the sun in the sky, may we appreciate again, may we be appreciative again for the blessing of the safe and easy transition each day. I invite us to pray together in English on page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Sivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravi. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echa Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We turn to Michamocha, our Song of Freedom, page 158. We ask for God's continued strength and shelter over us and over Jerusalem with the words of Hashkivenu, page 160.
Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu
We rise in body or spirit and turn to page 164.
Adonai, Sfatai tiftach, Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up our lips that our mouths may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצליח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, לחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated. In this week's Torah portion, B'ha'alotcha, Miriam suddenly becomes stricken with illness, and Moses cries out the first prayer for healing in our Torah, El na rafana la, please God, heal her. That feeling of deep need for healing resonates with us when we're ill or when those that we love are ill. So in that spirit, I'll invite you to, if you came into this space with the name of someone who is in need of healing, I'll invite you to share that name now. Stream, we'll invite you to say the name out loud wherever you are or type it into the chat. And I'll share names of those in our community who are in need of healing as well. Gerald Backman, Mary Wheeler Braun, John Burns, Alex Carr, Al Delarty, Freda Easton, Steve Elliott, Beth Field, Sue Flaum, Fred Friedman, Louise Friedman, Maurice Friedman, Jackie Fuchs, Roy Fuchs, Lanny Gans, Sandra Halperin, Jeff Helfand, Richard Liebenfarb, Sheldon Manspizer, Harriet Koppelman-Mincheski, Robbie Rajano, Marcia Silber, Stan Stern, Jill Stewart, Nancy Vega, Karen Wiener, Moshe Yaakov, Ben Yocheved. We turn tonight to page 677, and we sing these words that Moses called out to God, El na rafana la, please heal her. Sounds like this. El na rafana la, together. El na rafana la, El na rafana la, El na rafana la. So put it all together. Pray for all of their healing. Please, God, heal them. El na rafana la, El na rafana la, El na rafana la, El na rafana la. Moses cried, We take a few moments now for personal reflection and prayer using the words of our books or the words of our hearts. Adonai Tzuri Legoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my Redeemer. Yehi Ratzon Imrefi Vehegyon Libi Lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Vegoali. Adonai Tzuri Vegoali.
Friends, yesterday, right here in this space, I was honored to officiate at the funeral of our longtime member, Mark Rubenstein. Jane, his beloved, is here with us. I first met Mark and Jane very soon after I came to Temple Israel. Mark happened to be in the hospital, and I went to visit. And as we got to know each other a bit, and then toward the end of the visit, I offered to say a Misha Berach, and I asked for his Hebrew name. So he said, Avraham Michael ben Yosef. And I said, no, that's my Hebrew name. And by the way, how do you know my Hebrew name? He said, no, that's my Hebrew name. Raise your hand if you've ever met someone with your name. I'll go either way. Yeah? Okay, a few of us. You have? Serena Karasu? There's another Serena? Like, that's pretty... No. I don't mean... I mean the whole way through. The whole way through. Okay? So now another show of hands. Okay, some folks. Okay? So I had never before met someone with my same Hebrew name, but it wasn't a totally unknown experience for me because when I was in 3rd grade, a family moved in literally up the street from me, and they had a son who was exactly my age. He was also in 3rd grade, and guess what his name was? Michael Friedman, exactly. And throughout my life, I've met a couple of other Michael Friedmans. The school loved to play tricks on our family. Sometimes they put us in the same class together. The teacher didn't know who was who. Sometimes they sent his report card to my house and my report card to his house. I don't know how much of this was intentional or not, but there's some trouble you can get into with two kids of the same name who live on the same street. There's a secret at the very heart of Judaism. And that secret is actually God's name. The most important day of our Jewish year is, of course, Yom Kippur. And back in the days when the temple stood, Yom Kippur was not so much a day of saying sorry and apologizing and making amends. It was more a day of going to the temple in Jerusalem where the high priest, the Jewish pope of the day, there was only one, would absolve all of Israel's sins, all of the people of Israel's sins. And how would the high priest do this? On the afternoon of Yom Kippur, after fasting all day, the high priest would enter the temple and would enter the inner sanctum of the temple. Only the high priest was allowed to enter the inner sanctum of the temple, and only on Yom Kippur. And what would the high priest do in there? The high priest would pronounce God's secret name and thereby ask forgiveness for all of us. Well, the secret of what God's name actually is was passed down from generation to generation of high priests, starting with Aaron, and then his son, who was the next high priest, and then his son, etc., because it was only sons and only boys in those days, for about 1,000 years. Only the high priest, and later the high priest's son, would know what God's name was. And then when the temple was destroyed and we didn't have any high priests anymore, we didn't have any priests at all, guess what God's name is? We don't know. And so when we read from the Torah, every time we come across God's name, the Hebrew consonants Yud, He, Vav, He, we don't try to pronounce it out, the English consonants Y, H, V, H. We don't try to pronounce it out by adding vowels or something. We say something completely different. What do we say instead? We say Adonai. In the prayer book, it looks like 2 yuds. We don't try to pronounce y. That's not God's name. But also, Adonai is not God's name either. Adonai simply means my Lord. It's a placeholder for God's name. We don't try to pronounce the 4-letter name of God because we don't really know exactly what it is. And certainly, we don't want to get God's name wrong. It's as if we're saying, all of us, every day, that God is the one whose name is beyond comprehension. And actually, that's not a bad way to think about God, if you ask me. In the Torah portion that Serena and Anna will read tomorrow evening, Moses is asked by God to choose representatives of each of the 12 tribes to go and scout out the land of Israel and see if it's a suitable place for all of us to settle. And the beginning of the Torah portion, before the part you guys read, the Torah portion goes into great detail of the name of each representative of each of the 12 tribes and their lineage, their parentage, etc., and it describes all 12 people who will be chosen for this important mission for the Jewish people. So they go and they scout out the land and they come back and they offer collectively 2 different reports. 10 of the scouts say, it's a great land, but there's no way we can possibly conquer it. The people are giants. We appeared like grasshoppers. There's no way we can conquer the cities. It's a land that chews up its inhabitants and spits them out. They were very pessimistic. 2 of the scouts, 2 of the 12, known by name as Caleb and Joshua, they were optimistic. They said, it is a wonderful land and the people who live there are powerful, but guess what? We can do this. What's interesting to me is in this Torah portion, the names of those 10 pessimistic scouts are never mentioned again. All 12 are mentioned by name at the start when they are chosen for this mission, and then when they come back, the pessimistic scouts' names are never mentioned again. Whereas Caleb and Joshua go on to have wonderful careers as leaders of the Jewish people. It's as if these 10 pessimistic scouts who lacked fortitude and lacked self-confidence and lacked faith were not worthy of the names that they possessed. It's as if their names were wiped out. Our rabbis say that each of us carries the crown of a good name. A name given to us by our parents, perhaps sometimes our grandparents. Sometimes we have a nickname given to us by friends. Sometimes we have multiple nicknames. Each of us carries a good name, the crown of a good name. And oftentimes we carry the legacy of others, many generations before, that was placed upon us by those who gave us those names in Hebrew or in English. And our job is to carry those names proudly, as crowns, perhaps. To carry those names with faith and with confidence, and to make ourselves proud of the names that we carry, so that our names will not be lost, and the names of the legacies we carry will not be lost and will not be wiped out. May we each be worthy of the names that we possess. They are each unique. Keni Hiratzon. May it be so.
Kenny Hiratzon. Yitkara veyitkarash Shemei Rabba.
L'chol ish yesh shem, shenatan lo Elohim v'natnu lo aviva ve'imo. Each person has a name. We each have a name given by God and given by our father and mother. We each have a name given by our stature and smile and given by our attire. We each have a name given by the hills and by the walls. We each have a name given by the stars and given by our friends. We each have a name given by our sins and given by our yearnings. We each have a name given by our enemies and given by love. We each have a name given by celebrations and given by our work. We each have a name given by the seasons and given by our blindness. We each have a name given by the sea and given by our death. The poet Zelda reminds us that we each have a name, and in each name are 1,000 memories and legacies. If you are observing Shiva or Shloshim, the 7 or 30 days after a loss, and remembering someone's legacy, and you'd like to share the name of your loved one aloud, we invite you to do so at this time. Temple Israel community, we are observing Shiva and Shloshim following the passing of Henry Mandel, brother of Linda and Stephen, father of Matthew and Tia, grandfather of Bella and Hannah. Harry von Gutman, father of Lisa Dusselier, Vicky Gutman, Jason Gutman, and Lauren Helmstetter, Zichrona Livracha. Mark Rubenstein, husband of Jane. Linda Lerman, wife of Rabbi Jeffrey Silverman, mother of Avi and Dina. Gabby Buckman, daughter of Cheryl and David, sister of Jackie, niece of Amy and Art, cousin of Josh, Haley, and Jared. Gary Spencer, husband of Barbara, father of David, Stephen and Dana, Abby and Scott, Elizabeth and Mark, grandfather of Julia, Parker, Reese, Alexandra, Darren, Naomi, Connor, Jonah, and Joshua. If you are observing a Yurtzeit, the anniversary of a loss, and would like to share a name out loud, we invite you to do so at this time. Following members of our Temple Israel family: Sophia Pell, Earl Berman, Cliff Konarak, Florence Edelman, Adele Goldstein, Rosa Gottfried, Jack Hauser, Lillian Helburn, Alfred F. Hurley, Thelma Jacobs, Goldie Katz, Lois Lautenberg, Frank Lautenberg, Ethel Melmed, Esther Morgenstern, Frances Cross Narens, Elaine Pashkin, Louis Perlis, Norman Ryback, Herbert Rubel, Marguerite Marge Walmark. If you're joining us via the live stream and have a name to share, we invite you to do so in the chat or to say the name out loud so it might be heard. We invite those in the period of Shiva or Shloshim, the 7 or 30 days of mourning, to rise in body or spirit and remain standing. And we invite those who are commemorating a Yurtzeit, the anniversary of a loss, to rise and remain standing in body or in spirit. We turn to page 598 and join our mourners in our community, rising for Mourners Kaddish. Yit Gadol v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'ama divrach Yerutei v'hamlich malchutei, B'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mivarach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei d'kudashah brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiram be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say, Amen.
Amen.
We turn from memory to sanctification, from remembering mourning to celebrating 3 young women who will be called to the Torah tomorrow's bat mitzvah. Anna, Serena, and Ruby, come on up to join us in Kiddush. I'm going to invite everyone. You can have a seat if you'd like. We turn to page 123 for Kiddush.
Sure, you guys can share. Ruby, you get this one. Okay. Oh, wait, guys can take the Kiddush cup.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shavat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tefila lemikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim.
Wants a slice of challah? Who's good?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo ya'alo sadai ay 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 ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo ya'alo sadai ay 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 ad yiranenu kol hatzei
May the fields rejoice, and may we rejoice along with all of nature. We cherish our names as we move forward from this Shabbat into the coming week. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.